Hello, hello. How is everybody? Thank you for coming. You're all in here so early. So early. I appreciate it. Give me 1 second. Trying to make sure I have everything set up. All right. So we have Nettie and our Dad's RV Life, our epic RV adventure, daydream about nice things, Griswold family vacay, Papa Drew lost his pants, dreaming out loud. Sorry, everybody, I got a hair like right on my lip, and while I'm trying to talk, it's like doo-doo-doo. Sorry, that's probably gross. Anyway, dreaming out loud, hitch up in tow, and van life with Gina Payne. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. You are so sweet. Meant to be RVing. Thank you. Victoria May Wallace, RV Weekends. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me. I have a couple of things to talk about today. Hey, KNR. Thank you for coming. All right, so right off the bat, I want to talk about my health just a little bit, because I know there's quite a few of you in here that have messaged and I've been talking with, and just so I can kind of cover it all on one swoop here. I did announce quickly the other day that my health is kind of not so great right now. I went for my biopsy yesterday, and this morning I woke up with I did my live and kind of pushed through it. I tend to do that a lot. But I was in quite a bit of pain, and it kept getting worse. So I had to call the doctor, and I went in, and the biopsy is this area right here. So really close to my lungs. And when they did it, they had to go down through my throat and use a needle by my lungs. So one of the fears was of puncturing a lung. So today I went and had an x-ray done to make sure I don't have any fluid in my lungs or anything going on like that because of the amount of pain I'm in. And a couple of good things came out of this. One, I was able to talk to my doctor and have an appointment with him, the doctor that did the biopsy. Two, it doesn't appear that my lung was punctured, but apparently while I was under yesterday, I have a bleeding disorder apparently, and I bled too much while they were trying to do the procedure, causing complications during the procedure, and I stopped breathing. He said, "You wouldn't know this because you weren't awake." Nice, Doc. So the reason that I am in as much pain, he thinks, is because there was some things they had to do to me while I was asleep. So I think that's why I'm in the pain that I'm in right now. The other good news is, from what he sees on the biopsy, it's not quite as scary as it was going to be. I'm not ready to announce that part just yet because I want to get the results back. I want the results from the biopsy in my hand before I tell everybody, the scary terms. But those are the health updates for now. So if you hear me a little more out of breath than usual, that's kind of what's going on. YouTube, though, takes my mind off of those things. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that stuff really quick. Oh yeah, I'm going to be just fine. But I wanted to touch on that kind of stuff. And then, oh, thanks, Papa Drew. I want to touch on that, then I want to move past that. And I want to talk about a story that's been going on since back in September. Thank you all for the prayers and love. I really appreciate it. I just feel like the easiest way to update everyone is doing a real quick live, throwing it out there, and then we can kind of move on to the other stuff. All right, so there is a story that's been going on since September. It got a lot of attention everywhere because it's not something we really, I don't think most people have ever, I don't know, I've never seen anything like this. I will write the planet Uranus for you. I love that place. All right, so in September, there was 2 children who went missing, or should I say that their family became very concerned because their mom and their stepdad no longer had these 2 children. They had the children. The children was the mom's children, but the children just no longer were around. And family really noticed when 2 children up and disappear from the family. I mean, that's not normal stuff. So the case I'm talking about is the Lori, Vallow, and Chad Daybell case. Put a heart in the comment section if you know about the Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell case. They are the couple who their children were missing, and their niece's ex-husband and the rest of the family really started fighting to get the police to look into the case. The police would go to the house and they would say, oh, they're at a friend's house, they're just not home. You know, and like made all these excuses. And that was starting in September. Then while they were under investigation, Lori and Chad went and celebrated, had a good old time in Hawaii. I tried to leave our kids at the campsite, but the camp host stopped us at the gate. I got a camping story about my kiddo I'll tell you after this. So there's been a whole lot of like, where are these kids and why aren't the police doing more to find these kids and whatnot? Well, there's an update. And some of you may have seen it, but they finally arrested Chad Daybell because they found human remains, 2 human remains, separate human remains on his property. Lori Vallow had already been arrested. Chad was just arrested yesterday when they served a warrant and searched his property, and they found two remains. And then today it came out that they were children's remains, but they still haven't said for sure that these are JJ and Tylee, which are the children, but they just said that they are children's remains. Today they had the hearing to set whether or not they were going to set bail for Chad or not. And Chad's attorney tried to get the bail set at $100,000. That's it. He wanted Chad to be able to walk out of that jail and have bail at only $100,000. Now the prosecutor was like, no way. It's $1 million. And the judge was like, no way. It's $1 million. Not only is it $1 million, but Chad's going to be restricted to not being able to leave Bonneville, Jefferson, or Fremont counties. This is if he can come up with $1 million bond. And he needs to wear an ankle monitor. So he'll be constantly monitored. So really the restrictions that the judge placed while giving him $1 million bond are pretty strict. The charges on Chad date back to September 8th, which was the last date Tylee was seen. And then on September 4th is the last date JJ was reported last seen. So they are charging these charges as if the remains are the children. So, I mean, I just can't, since I've been following this story, I can't understand how or why, but I'll get into that a little bit more. The charges he was charged with were He's charged with 2 felony charges to conceal, alter, and destroy evidence. Count 1 says this happened between September 22nd and June 9th. Count 2 says it happened between September 8th and June 9th. Each felony charge carries a maximum penalty of up to 5 years in the state penitentiary and or a $10,000 fine, and that's for each charge. No, I didn't know them. I've just been following the case because I don't see how. Okay, I'll get into what I found out about Lori Vallow. Lori Vallow, which was the mother of these children. More like as the story all came out and different things, her last 2 husbands, she had 2 other husbands. Her other 2 husbands, her first husband died of a heart attack, a suspicious heart attack nonetheless, but a heart attack. Her second husband came to see her, and she said that he was trying to hurt her or something, and her brother shot and killed him. So second husband, dead. They've all been cremated, the ex-husbands, so there's no way now to like dredge up any, I don't know, anything that would help find out more about her involvement in that. But on court documents, because she's been arrested, and I don't know exactly what her charges are, but she has a $1 million bond also. And in her court cases, remember in the beginning I said her niece's husband, who is also like filing for divorce or may already be divorced from the niece, he said the niece came home one day from visiting with Lori and said that she was worried about JJ and Tylee, the 2 children, because her Aunt Lori was saying that Chad and Lori believed that the kids were zombies. And that zombies, according to their religion, because they're part of the LDS religion, zombies need to be taken out. And this was right before the children disappeared. Now, the niece has denied this. She's denied it to the FBI. She's denied it to the police. She's denied it through all of her interviews. There's interviews of the niece all over the internet where she says, no, that was never said to me. I believe my aunt's innocent. My aunt would never hurt her kids. But her husband, on the other hand, was like, no, she came home and said she was worried about her aunt going to hurt these kids. So Lori's court documents state that she thought they were zombies. So I don't know. It's a crazy case, but I'm glad to finally see the 2 of them behind bars. Really, really glad to see them behind bars. Chat got really, really quiet. Either that or my chat's just not moving. Yeah, I didn't know the LDS believed in zombies either. But apparently, here, let me read the story. Zombie stuck, just saying. Yeah, let me read this news story I found. It's kind of interesting. Okay, Joshua 7, Tylee 17. Tylee was the daughter. Joshua is JJ. But JJ has been reported to be 8 or 7. I don't know for sure. Okay. Joshua 7 and Tylee 17 have not been seen since September. A court filing claims their mother and her husband thought the children had been possessed and became zombies. Lori Vallow, who is in jail in connection to her months-long disappearance of 2 of her children, thought the 2 had been possessed and were zombies, according to a newly filed court document. The claims were made in documents filed last week in an Arizona court by Vallow's niece's ex-husband, who has also said his former wife knows the whereabouts of Vallow's children, JJ and Tylee, who were last seen in September. Brandon Bordox made the claims about Vallow's thinking her children were zombies in a court filing connected to his battle with his ex-wife, Melanie, over custody of their children, according to East Idaho News, which obtained a copy of the document. The filing includes an alleged conversation Pawlowski's current husband had with his attorneys after meeting with law enforcement. It says that Melanie Pawlowski told her husband she was concerned about JJ and Tylee because Vallow and her husband, Chad Daybell, believed their children had been possessed and had become zombies. Zombies are described in the court documents as human bodies that have had their original spirits forced from them and have been possessed by either a demon or a disembodied spirit or a worm or a slug. She shared concerns that she's been told Brandon needed to die and that may indicate that Tylee and JJ needed to die as well, the document alleges, referring to JJ by his nickname. The filing described a cult-like religion that, in addition to zombies, included beliefs in the teleportation and the dark light portals. Pawlowski allegedly told her husband that she learned about some of these beliefs from a temple and from Vallow and Daybell, the document states. Ian Pawlowski said the first time he heard about these notions, it was a jolt, but that he tried to keep an open mind. The filing does not say how Bordox, can't pronounce that one, obtained this information. The attorneys for Melanie and Ian Pawlowski could not immediately be reached on Tuesday. Attempts to reach an attorney for Vallow were also not immediately successful. Hey, Lucky Dog Productions moderator. Yeah, apparently 2 children might be dead because their parents thought they were zombies. Yeah, I'm confused. I know that there's always going to be, in religion, let me make something clear. In religion, there's always going to be something good, and there's always going to be bad. There's, in life, there's good and there's bad. Nothing can be all good, because if it's all good, we wouldn't know how to be thankful for good. So you have to have some bad in there. With that being said, I don't think all LDS share the same belief system. Daydream about nice things. I read somewhere, and I will have to look this up and let you know where, that they broke up from the original LDS, and kind of his family, he created something of his own with that he considered still to be LDS, but it was his own doctrine, sort of. Yeah, the FLDS is fundamentalist. They want to keep poly. Yeah. In this situation, though, I think it was like he was one of the bad apples. He broke off and he created his own thing. Because from what I've read, he believes he's God in a way. And that's why he has thought that he could get away with all this long. that the things that he's doing and saying and believing are perfectly normal and perfectly right. But yeah, I don't think he's the typical LDS that we're used to reading about or hearing about. Yeah, no, he's a different breed. He's not. It's not the same. Yeah, the people that have more than one wife just think 10 ladies telling you to do dishes, take out the trash, and mow the lawn. Can you imagine that you have enough wives, just enough wives, one for each night of the week, and you have to go each night to each different wife's house and try to keep that straight? Just try to keep that straight, which house you go to each night. My family was in since the beginning of the LDS church, so I know quite a bit. Okay, so Bob's Adventure. So is it correct in saying that some people will leave and start their own kind of spin-off of the LDS because they don't quite agree with everything and they have their own little ideas that they want to implement for their family? And because that's kind of what I've heard. The trumpeter of temples will blow the horn. See, because they were saying that he was being protected by a lot of his followers. The splits happen because they want polygamy. Yeah. I want to say included in the story too, or as close to mixing with family, that may be going on in this family also. I know that like brothers are married to sister-in-laws, and sister-in-laws are married to brother-in-laws in a couple of the situations. I don't know. Just in this Daybell, Lori Vallow family, it gets very confusing when you're following the case. You just made flashcards and you... Oh, Papa Drew. Oh, Papa Drew. Okay, that's how the religion is based. The leader... There we go. That's how the religion is based. The leader is considered God's current prophet on earth. And then he pretty much sets the rules of what you believe in, right? I mean, he goes by the Bible, but he can add things in from what I've seen. Hey, Thrifty Angela. And I'm not by any means saying that any religion is bad. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying that certain people can make it bad by the choices that they make and the things that they change. You have bad apples in all sorts of different areas in life. Hey, our epic RV adventure. I've seen you somewhere here, so you popped back in here. Sorry, I jumped on and then I had to take a call catching up. No problems, our epic RV adventure. I hope your AC gets fixed. I'm not anymore, but that's how it works. Yeah. I know a lot of people that do try to get out, in turn not being able to speak to their family, which really sucks. Yeah, all religions have people that do wrong. Heck, I had a pastor at my church that was robbing, literally going to people's in the church's homes and robbing them. And he was the pastor. In fact, until the 70s, no other race but white could be in the priesthood. That's crazy. Until a revelation came. Maybe they had a revelation about zombies. And it led to 2 children losing their lives It's crazy. I'm saying having 10 wives, religion is bad. It might sound neat, but it's a trap. No way that can turn out okay. Must be bad. Yeah. Anyone seen Anubis? Can you please stop scratching the door, Bubba? Get back up on the bed. Stop scratching the door. Sorry, my dog's going nuts. Or something that Chad and Lori made up. Yeah, to cover their butts. Possibly. Yeah. Do you know, Bob, if they believe in zombies, LDS, or is that just something that Chad and Lori were now believing in? Seeing something else. Anybody watch the Sister Wives? That guy's life's falling apart. He, and the next hearing for Chad Daybell is set for July 1st and 2nd. It'll be his next hearing. So I hope he doesn't have $1 million, because they literally have had to chase these people around, and it's taken a really long time to get them. It's resurrection after the whole world dies, not specific people. Okay. If they have a religion that you have to drink till you pass out and not care, see that. Hey, full-time dream. How you doing? That's true. Even devil worshippers call it a religion. That is very, very true. So they did their own thing for sure. Yeah, and they could be using, you got to think, like with the judicial system, they could try to use, oh, they were zombies, and then claim insanity, you know? And I wouldn't put that past them, because their kids have been gone since September, and they kept telling everybody their kids are fine and alive, and they just aren't going to tell anybody where they're at. And yet, they're in the backyard. They're not fine and alive. You know what I mean? So they could just be setting themselves up to be able to file a insanity plea. Who knows? But I just can't imagine. Because, see, the thing that got me so upset yesterday, made me cry, because I had to be alone. They couldn't have visitors in there with me yesterday. And the thing that made me cry yesterday, and then they zonked me out with the good meds, was I looked over and there was 3 empty seats next to me. I'm laying in the bed and there's 3 empty seats. And I have 3 kids. So I started bawling my eyes out because I wanted my kids. So I can't imagine, I just can't imagine when these parents do things to their children. I just can't. It's so incredibly heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking when anyone passes away, but when a parent does something to their kid, I can't wrap my brain around that at all. What did the innocent child do? Did they get in the way of you taking your trip to Hawaii? Like, what's going on? Yeah, I love my kids more than I love myself. I would do anything for my kids. Yeah, mamas are supposed to protect their kids. Daddies, they're supposed to protect their kids. Yeah, there's a special place for them. You know, we all know where. Okay, so let me lighten this up a little bit. I said I would tell a story about, I had a bad mommy moment when I was camping one time. I had a mommy fail. I just said I would protect my kids with anything and everything, with my life. I'd lay down my life for my kids. Well, until I heard something that scared me. So I'll tell you that funny story. We'll lighten up the mood a little. So we had a camper, and we had gone camping. We got out to this campground, and we had pre-picked our spot. It was right by the playground. Real nice spot. Full hookups. It was great. Super excited. We pull in. We get our camper set in place. I go in to do the getting it all, sheets on, windows open, everything perfect. And I look out the window by the dinette, by the kitchen table, and I see this huge tree. A little ways up on the tree, there's a rub mark. I've watched enough National Geographics to know what a rub mark like that is. That's a big animal itching itself on a tree. So I say to my husband at the time, hey, I think that's a bear mark. Like a bear itching their body on the tree. My husband at the time says, there's no bears out here. Your imagination's running wild. There's no bears out here. Now, I have to be clear. I grew up in the farm. We spent our weekends and our summers on the farm. I know what a coyote sounds like. I know what all kinds of animals sound like, all right? We tent camped on a farm all the time. Just saying. So that night, my husband's putting our daughter to sleep in the camper, and I decided to take our son and go out and sit by the fire. I'm sitting by the fire, and I hear a roar like I ain't never heard before. A deep, gut-wrenching roar. Being the great mother that I am, I knock my chair to the ground and I run over to the camper. Did I mention that I left my child sitting in his chair by the fire? I remembered once I got to the door that I still had a kid. I turned around and said, hey, Bubby, get over here. I left my kid to be eaten by a bear. I am a terrible mother. So we go in the camper. We're safe. No bear got us. Yay. And I tell my husband, hey, there's a bear out there. I was not wrong. There's a bear out there. My son says, Daddy, there's a bear out there. He doesn't believe us. We go to bed. Well, we're the type of campers that we like to pack our stuff up at night. That way, in the next morning when we go to leave, everything's done, So after we got both the kids to sleep that next night, because we only went for 2 nights, the next time we went camping, or the next night when we went out, we decided to sit down by the fire for a minute, just me and him. Kids were asleep. We'd enjoy the fire, and then we'd pack our things. We sit down. We're there about 5 minutes, and that same gut-wrenching, deep growl happens. This time, he's over at the camper door, and I'm still trying to get out of my chair. As I'm running, finally get out of my chair, I say, is it a bear now? To which he replies, we'll pack up in the morning. It was a bear. It was 100% a bear. So, hope that all made you smile. We didn't pack up till morning. And it was definitely a big bear. And the campfire, the reason it kept happening by the campfire was the campfire was right here, and the rub tree that the bear had been marking and rubbing on was right next to the campfire. So we were in the bear's territory. The Dorito socks rock. What a fuck. That's funny. You're not a terrible kid. I lost my kid in the mall one time. I still don't forgive myself. Worst mom moment ever. Yeah, we all have one of those mom moments, don't we? Where we're just like, duh, what was I thinking? My sister, when I was a kid, first we went to the mall. Your story reminded me of this. We went to the mall and she got on the elevator and there was an older lady on there. And it was right after we had seen The Wizard of Oz. And she yelled, my sister yelled and said, "Look, Mom, it's the Wicked Witch of the West." We were stuck in the elevator with the little old lady. My sister was so embarrassing. And then another time when we were at the mall, my sister jumped off the elevator in the parking garage as the doors were closing. Ooh, never seen my parents freak out so bad. We probably should have left her there. Just saying. We sneak around. Hold on. We sneak around and play bear sounds and shake brushes to freak people out. Realized the last time I did it, probably not smart. I can end up shot. Very true. Or bear sprayed. That stuff's strong. Anubis, get up there and lay down. Let's see. Police showed up and searched the house and they found him asleep under the pool table in our basement. What happened? Hold on. Oh, your son. My son was 2 and we were home. Realized he was nowhere to be found. He searched out. Ended up calling 911. Was just sure someone took off the back door. Oh, poor guy. I almost called the police on my son one time. I didn't know he sleepwalked. I couldn't find him anywhere. And then finally I looked in his closet a second time and he had not only closed the closet door, but he was in his toy box with his toy box lid closed. That's where he was sleeping. So I get that feeling. I was relieved, but later felt like some horrible mother because I lost my kid at home. Oh, at least he was at home. My kid hit the button for the elevator, got in without me, and I left. I was like, now what do I do? Right? Now what do I do? We waited. She came back. She was upset. At least she came back. My sister didn't. They found her out in the parking garage walking around, just chilling. Victoria, you lost your daughter in a parking elevator also? Must be a thing for kids. Okay, Bob's Adventure. See you in a little bit. Parenting is hard. I thought it was hard when they were little because you had to chase them everywhere. But then they become teenagers and they get a mind of their own. Oh, and then it's all the real world problems. That's stressful. Hey, Griswold Family Vacay. I don't like adulting either. Adulting's for adults. I'm not quite there yet. I don't think I'll ever be there. Did I miss any other good stories up here? Whew. Oh, Bob said, when you go camping, you just got to make sure you're not the slowed runner in the group. Oh, yeah, I remember Papa Drew saying this before. He wants to dress up as a fat monkey at Quartzsite and run around at night. She snuck out of a hotel room at Christmas, and I was so freaked out, and a man came walking up with her. Oh, boy. Thrifty Angela, I'll take kid problems than teenage ones I'm dealing with now any day, right? See, my boys aren't so bad. The teenage girl, whew, that's a whole nother story. Teenage girl is wild and crazy and free. free in her mind of anything. She's just, I'm going to have lots of fun, not a care in the world. I remember being like that. I can't really complain because when I was a teenager, I was like, I'm a kid. I'm supposed to get in trouble. I'm supposed to have fun. So she gets it honestly. Hey, Frank Evans. She definitely gets it honestly. She loved to hide from me all the time. I was hell on wheels for sure. Yeah. I was hell on wheels, but I also very much respected adults. I was taught from a very young age, you always respect adults. So I respected them. But I lived on the edge too. I was a worse teenager than my kids. Yeah, I can say that I was worse than my boys for sure. My daughter, the stuff she's trying to do, I was doing at 17 and 18. But I think that that's kind of normal for today's society because everybody in today's society is being pushed to grow up so much quicker, and they're missing out on the good years. We were at the RV park in Paso. They have a wine bar and RV park. It was across the street, like we could see it. Told the kids we were going there and having some wine. They wanted to see us, so they went looking for us. We are like across the freaking road, and they got lost. My wife was freaking out. I was like, okay, we can finish our bottle and then go find them. Wrong answer. So we found them at the park in the RV campground. Oh, that's funny. My daughter was a homebody bookworm, hated parties, still like that. That's the way my boys are. My boys would just rather play their video games. Oh, my older one, he likes to build things. And he goes to a couple friends' houses, but when he goes to their houses, they play video games there, you know? Just not like a real big party it up type kids, you know? My daughter, she knew where a party was at. She'd be there. She'd find it. She knew where it was. She'd find a way to get there. Like I said, she gets it honestly, though. Well, they're all straight A students, though. That I can give them. They all keep their grades real good. I have one boy who's all straight A's and keeps to himself. The other one is crazy. To this day, we cannot go wine tasting. The kids get pissed and start to cry. Oh, Papa Drew, you ruined them. All some wine. Man, oh man. I need new older kids. Oh, you don't want older ones. Enjoy them while they're small. Worst thing about my son was trying to get him to get to school on time and do his homework. Oh, and his choice of girlfriends. Won't get into that. Gotcha. I can understand that. My daughter is drop dead gorgeous. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Everybody says she's like my carbon copy, except for she's got blonde hair and blue eyes. I think she's just gorgeous. I don't think she looks like me. I think she looks like she could be a model. But that backfires on you. In kindergarten, a little boy bought her a real ring. Not like a candy machine ring, like a sterling silver real ring. And I thought maybe he like took it from his mommy and gave it to her or something like that. So I was like, I better call and make sure his mom knows that he brought this to school and gave it to my kid. So I called the mom. And I'm like, did you know that your son gave my daughter a sterling silver ring? And she's like, yeah, I took him to buy it. He wants her to be his girlfriend. Kindergarten? We're giving promise rings in kindergarten now? I'm in trouble. That was kindergarten. Rhonda, you have 3 boys, 20, 23, and 24? I'd have never guessed. I would have never guessed that you have kids that old. Not that you're old. I just never would have guessed you had kids that old. Did that come out wrong? I'm sorry if it did. Papa Drew, I have a 15-year-old girl and a 10-year-old girl. I gave up after making them 2. I don't blame you. 2 girls, I'd give up too. Michael said a boy didn't buy that ring. He said that is a family you don't want to be around. Oh, that boy that was kindergarten. We had problems with that boy for up until 3rd grade. We finally got rid of that boy. And then all of a sudden, 2 years ago, he was back in the picture, talking to her again. It's like, no, go away. Then we had another one. Bought her a 14-karat gold necklace. He put it on a really expensive bear, and he gave her $50. And I was like, these kids have more money than me. Seriously. What is going on? It's craziness. We get to do drive school now. I have a question. When in holy hell did they stop teaching drivers ed in high school? Oh, I don't know. I've gotten real lucky with that too. We bought, my son helped pay for it. He has a car, my oldest son. He doesn't want to drive it. He doesn't want to. He knows how. I've always taught him how to drive down at the farm and stuff, so he knows how to drive. He has no interest. None. These kids have parents who have more money. True. Very true. Laugh out loud. No, thank you. I started at 23 so I could have my freedom in my 40s. Yeah, I started really young too. Well, not really young. I was 23 when I had my first. I used to sneak out my window. No, I was, 23. I used to sneak out my window late at night to go to the bowling alley with all my friends, and my mom nailed the window closed. Smart mom. We did the same thing. We didn't want kids still in the house when we were in our 50s and 60s. Yep, same here. I was 23. I think exactly 23 when I had my son, my oldest son. Then 3 years later, I had my daughter. Happy Place has just the 2, a 23 and a 25. 23-year-old son and a 25-year-old daughter. I'm not sure this state wants me teaching my kid how to drive. I used to drive tanks in the Marines. I can see it now. Baby, you're bigger than they are. They will move out of your way. That's what a bulldog always says when we're driving, because we've got 2 big SUVs. And we've got a 3-way stop at the end of our street, and people don't stop for us to turn. And he's always like, oh, they'll stop. They'll get out of my way when I'm turning. I'm like, this is not going to end well one of these times. My sister and I shared a room in the basement, tri-level house, and once I woke up to my sister and all her friends just chilling. Oh, how bad. Oh, I can imagine as a teenager how embarrassing that would be. You wake up and your sister and all her friends are sitting there. Oh. Victoria, I got pregnant in 17. Had her 3 months after my 18th birthday. Oh, so you had baby young too. I was going to make her drive the RV until I remembered that I have 2 beds in it, and then I shit canned that idea fast. Just a quick reminder that we have Let's Talk About It live tonight, and we have a guest that's going to come on, and we're going to ask her lots of questions. We're going to chit-chat with her, and we want the audience to ask lots of questions too. So if you have not followed that channel yet, the Let's Talk About It live channel, we're going to drop a link here, and you can follow that, and then we'll be on at 8 p.m. Central Standard, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we will have a van life guest that we're going to chit-chat with. It's going to be Miss Gina Payne, and I already have my question lined up. I know we all see her photo booth in the background. Well, I need to know more about it. I know that it's not a photo booth, but I want to know about the inside, the contents of her photo booth. So if you're in here, Gina, don't you say anything right now. You wait until the show, because that's my question for you. Oh boy. And then in just a few minutes, we have an 80s themed K&R Destinations live that's going to be going on. That's going to be tons of fun. So we'll all have to go over there and enjoy that. And then the lives just keep on rolling from then on. So it should be lots of fun tonight on the interwebs. Lots and lots of fun. Yeah, we have quite a few really good interviews lined up for the Let's Talk About It live. Yeah, K&R, you left before I shouted you out this morning, but I did shout you out this morning too. My brain was just being bubbly this morning. We do have at least 3 interviews with some really great channels lined up for the Let's Talk About It live van series. So I'm super excited about it. I showed my wife how to drive the RV one time only. Getting on the freeway, she put the gas pedal to the floor and everything went flying. Driving and it just ended there. Then she took it and hit the same 3 trees in a row. I called her on the cell phone and asked what that tree did to make her mad. She did not get it. Oh, that's funny. I tried to teach my sister-in-law how to drive, and we were going down it was a 2-lane road, but it's like a street for a subdivision, so it's kind of skinnier. It's a polite thing to do is pull over a little and let the car come up when they're coming up the hill and you're going down the hill. So I was trying to tell her to pull over just a little, slow down, let the car pass you. Well, I was pregnant, very pregnant, 8 months pregnant, trying to teach her to drive. She gassed it instead of hitting the brakes and pulled up into her mother's front yard. This far was my driver's door from a tree. This far. Her driving lesson was over. Yes, ended her driving lesson. So then her dad tried to teach her, which was great because she backed into a fence while he was teaching her. She still never learned how to drive very good. Okay, happy place. See you over there. I think it's 80s trivia, so you better show up. Trivia queen. Oh boy. Oh man. So yeah, we got a really good lineup going. I just hung my head. Yeah, we got a really good lineup going tonight. It should be a lot of fun. And as long as everything's going okay on Sunday, I may be on somebody else's channel on Sunday that I'm really, really excited about, but I can't announce it just yet. And then next week, I know I'm going to be somewhere on another channel. So there's so much fun going on YouTube lately. It's just keeping me smiling through everything I'm going through, which I really appreciate. And I can say that a million times and still not feel like I've said it enough. This community and all the people here, they just keep me going, and I appreciate it. Good afternoon, B&D Crafts. Can we drop the link one more time for the Let's Talk About It Live that will be happening tonight at 8 p.m. Central? Kanar, I love you too. Yeah, if we can drop Let's Talk About It Live link one more time. And if you're not, okay, see you over there, Kanar. If you're not a part of the Let's Talk About It Live channel yet, please do subscribe. It's meant to be RVing, Mel Nettie, Living Free Zip Codeless, and me. It's doing a talk show. We have a guest. All the chat gets to get involved. It's really cool. Thank you, Meant to Be. And tonight, Gina Payne will be on there telling us what's inside her photo booth. Hopefully she'll tell us, since I've made such a big deal about her photo booth. But, all right, I am going to go ahead and play my outro. I lost my pants some days. I'm going to go ahead and play my outro. I thank you all so much for showing up and showing me some support and some love. It means a lot to me. Much love to you all. Wishing you all much love and much kindness. Bye for now.